Shout out to the people, the good people at Paramus Catholic, reaching out to me. Then I seen a video floating around what they was gonna do to St. Peter's, and I'm like, hold on, they gotta pause that right now, right? Cause you still ain't all the way out the water. You see what I'm saying? Like you just said, they knocked off a Seton Hall prep, and they was down a couple dudes, right? You did what you were supposed to do, right? In that setting. St. Peter's prep going to smoke your boots. And it's going to be a 50 ball. It's going to be dangerous.
We here in the studio.
A lot of these offers don't be that real, so it's not committable.
That feel like when everybody's getting their turn and it's not yours. What they call you? The Godfather, New Jersey.
You powerful know? Man. I ain't gonna brag, but that's what they said. I ain't say that.
Good evening, my people. Welcome to another episode of Keep It a Buck. You're here with your host, Keep It a Buck, Lenny.
Big Body Nas.
We're gonna pick up where we left off as usual. You know, we're gonna do the recap. You know, Nas took his first loss this week.
I got two losses on that.
And the people of Paramus Catholic was sure to make sure you knew it.
Yes. I mean, shout out to Paramus Catholic. That was a huge win. Shout out to the people that will never let me down. I mean, never let me hear the end of it in my DMs and let me know that do not count PC out. That's why I came today with the PC Living hoodie, because if you ain't living, then you dying, and I don't want to be dead.
I hear you, man. Yo, listen, man. Even with all that, I don't think them folks as bad as the people at St. Peter's, man. I'm telling you, them people at St. Peter's is terrible, as Ahmed would say. They terrible, man.
Hey, man, the ship has sunk at Seton Hall Prep, brother. They sunk the ship at the prep.
All right, so we're going to get to that. We'll say that for last, because we got to expand on that, man. But we're going to handle some public school business. Do what you do.
Yes. Shout out to the public schools around the state. Hillside knocked off Arthur Johnson 33-7. Aljamair Davis continuing his streak of just scoring in every game. East Orange campus over West Orange 25-12.
I didn't see that coming.
25-12, and that happened. That was a major thing right there. So just understand that. Irvington, close win over Montclair, 22-21. I told you that was going to be a tight game.
I didn't see it coming. Maybe I'm giving Irvington some undue credit based on the names they got. They got a lot of big names, as I said jokingly, but it's some truth to that. Like, they got a lot of kids. In every class, they got a headliner for every class. So I just didn't think, schools like Montclair, no disrespect to Montclair, I know it's a proud tradition, but Irvington is now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then Union City, shout out to Union City.
Shout out to Union City.
We owe them an apology. They was in the DM and they pointed out some things in regards to us kind of not favoring Irvington, but giving Irvington the benefit of the doubt over them. They like, why would you do that? Other than big names, if you look at the way we match up statistically, we've always been a problem for them. And now it's a changing of the guards, according to them.
Yeah.
So shout out to Union City, are they undefeated?
I don't believe they undefeated. I know they took an L to somebody. I just can't think it off the top of the head. But they won big over Lincoln this week, 48-14.
Yeah, now they rolling.
Sophomore running back Mark Boyd had 2 TDs. The Rutgers commit, Jazier Peterson, that's Peterson, 3 sacks and a forced fumble. And the senior running back Damon had 2 TDs. And they run that that wing T offense over there. So both of them back.
You got to be very disciplined. That's everything is happening between the guards. It's all about reading the guards.
I got to give a big shout out to Union High School too. They on the road too. The guy, big stretch over there, Renick Dorillis, big DB they got, getting all the offers. He went number 1. And I'm hearing they got a sophomore quarterback. A sophomore quarterback class of 2025. Old Molly King, 6'4", 195. Supposed to beat it.
Okay, so here we are again. This 2025 thing, man. Jeez,
it's crazy.
I can't wait to break it all down, these 25s, and get an idea of where they all fall amongst each other. But I got some public school news too, man.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it coming. Maybe I backed you off it, but the Passaic County Tech versus Clifton game. Oh God.
Hey, shout out to Passaic County Tech. I owed you guys the apology. I had you guys losing to Clifton without even thinking about it. And
yeah, 21-3. And it was a straight brawl. Like when I say brawl, was nothing pretty about it. Both teams took the air out the ball. So for Clifton, Romello Tables only passed for 19 yards. He completed 5 passes on 10 attempts for 19 yards. For Passaic County Tech, they only passed for 35 yards and completed 3 passes. So it was a run-heavy game. Shout out again to Cashmere Jones, former Silk City stud. You know what I'm saying? He again balled out. You know, he was the workhorse for Passaic County Tech. He had 11 carries for 95 yards. You know, and Passaic County Tech got out of there 21-3 on Clifton.
that was big. But shout out to Pennsauken down in South Jersey, knocked off Willingboro in a tight one, 31-28. The young freshman quarterback at Willingboro still put on another show, Lamar's best, and he got them going down there, man. But
What's their record?
They actually 1-4, but the thing is, they've been losing tight to a lot of these big schools. So like Pennsauken is a power down there in that South Jersey. Yeah, and then I wanted to get into our North public schools. So shout out to Weekway with a big win over Booton. Sultan Hinton and Izmir Marset led the way in that one. That was about I think they beat them 40-8 or something like that. And West Side is still on the roll with the quarterback leading, following behind their quarterback, Nasir Smith, class of 2024. Joshua Medal, the running back, obviously, Capo. Nasir Williams is the linebacker there that's big for them. And the kid Darryl Barrow is the cornerback out of there, former Brick City Lion. And he's doing his thing. Who else am I missing? Shout out to North East Side, the Red Raiders. Coach Dame is on the road right now. Just knocked off Kearney, 30-0. Behind my young guy, man, remember the name, man, Zaymar Garmany. And that's Lil Smack. He's doing his thing. He's a freshman, class of 2026, holding it down for the family. And that's a wrap for my public school.
Also, didn't we have East Orange?
We talked about East Orange over the upset. I was going to pick East Orange, but you kind of made me flip.
Come on, man. Don't put that on me. You've been undefeated, man. I ain't been able to talk you out of nothing else.
So, but yo, the biggest one that dropped my record was we get into the private school thing, but right now, shout out to all the public schools, the kids out there making it happen for your city. Salute to you guys.
All right, so, man, one you did hit on the head. Let's go into Del Barton. Pope John. Del Barton beat Pope John 37-19. Quarterback Robert Russo for Del Barton was 13-19 for 152 yards. The running back Ryan Trafford, 23 carries for 118 yards, 2 TDs. That's the kid number 5.
And they got a kid number 1, wide receiver. He was a freshman All-American. He was out there looking like Jahan Dotson for Del Barton. But believe it or not, Pope John was really in that game. They was in the game. One thing about Pope, they'll find a way to lose a game sometimes. And I feel like when they got that punt block, the momentum shifted big time. They got a punt block. They went with the quarterback to punt instead of the normal punter, and they got blocked, and it was for 6. Then, as they moving the ball again, they moved the ball, and then had come the trouble with the fumble inside the 10. They fumble inside the 10, Del Barton get the ball, touchdown. So the score do not reflect on how the game was going.
Yeah, you were keeping me updated during that game, and actually I thought they was going to pull it out because it was late. It was late in the third going into the fourth.
It was like 1917. But like I said, man, Del Barton, if you look at the team, you can see the culture. It was homecoming day. It looked like a circus out there, brother. Del Barton, you guys know how to put on the show. They knocked them off, man. You could see that they had that resilience. They was not letting a Pope John team come crash their homecoming, and they put it up, believe it or not.
So moving right on, man. So we had DePaul with the win over Hudson Catholic, 38-20. And Hudson Catholic's been having a historical season, and they're in Group 4.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So they're in the Group 4
But like a Group
layout.
1 school. So you gotta look at it like that. They don't have the same number of
Something
kids.
had to give though, man, honestly, because you can't be in Group 4 without like
The numbers?
So for example, like how Joe's does it, how Joe's gets into Group 4 is they have that Knights Academy, which is the 8th grade, that counts, right?
Gotcha.
So that and boosted. How did they get in Group 4? Something they had to do something.
I don't know, but
Because it's all numbers.
they was holding it down against DePaul. They was actually leading the way. I just feel like Hudson don't have enough, like a lot of these schools in the Big North have. They don't have all of those soldiers on the bench to come in
War
and
of
give you a
attrition.
breather.
They lost
You
the
know
war
what
of
I'm saying?
attrition.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Same thing with Del Barton and Pope John. Same thing with this Hudson Catholic and DePaul kind of game. Hudson had the lead, just couldn't close that door on them. And here come the Sheeds and the Nick Campanellis we talked about, where they said that they could not. I knew physically they was not losing to that team like that. It's a mentality thing.
So for DePaul, Anthony Almeida led the way with 25 carries for 163 yards and 2 TDs. But while we were talking about freshmen, DePaul played a freshman quarterback, Derek Zamet. He went 14 of 22 for 180 yards and a touchdown in a varsity game, first varsity start.
That's big. Shout out to you, young man.
Yes, sir.
I heard. What did the running back for Hudson Catholic do?
Jacob Jacob, he ran for 16 carries for 100 yards, no touchdowns. So I guess that's where DePaul was able to, take over that game. They was able to keep him in check, which I'm hearing not many teams have been able to do.
Can't.
Okay, so
What's
now
next up?
Now we gotta address your demons, brother.
This episode of Keep It a Buck is brought to you by Keep It a Buck Clothing. Stay true to yourself and what you wear, and keep it a buck.
Peace.
Some people think what I do is easy, but they wrong. I'ma keep it a buck with you. I'm a different breed.
Come back. Oh, move. Come on, work. Good.
Stay true to yourself and what you wear. Keep it a buck. Yes, sir.
Paramus Catholic. We have Paramus Catholic with the upset over Seton Hall Prep. Scored 20-17 in a game that Paramus Catholic jumped on them. Jumped out quick, so I'm gonna just give you some context.
Yeah, they had them like 20-10 or something like that. What was it?
I think they was up 17-3
Okay.
at a point. And they could have put them away, but Paramus Catholic wasn't scoring when they got in the red zone. They settled for a field goal or something like that on 2 occasions. But what makes it interesting is Paramus Catholic switched their defense this week, and I really think that may have caught Seton Hall Prep off guard because from what I'm hearing from a lot of the Paramus Catholic faithful, Seton Hall Prep came out just throwing. But Paramus Catholic had the defense for that. And before they looked up, they were down 17-3. And then the halftime comes. And if you look at the score, the game ends 20-17. So that says somebody made an adjustment, which all leads to tell me maybe you scripted what y'all was gonna do, and when y'all saw that look, you couldn't adjust on the fly, and Russo and the boys was all on them. It was big plays too. One of the receivers kept hitting him upside the head, big plays. Shout out to Kayvon Harper, the senior quarterback at Paramus Catholic. He led the day. He went 8 of 18 for 188 passing, and then 16 carries for 92 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he straight took over that game.
Do you think maybe Seton Hall Prep might have slept on PC?
So
PC was going through everything they was going through, and for them to kind of like bounce back. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, let's look. So I just flipped the page to see what's coming up this week. They got Bosco.
Who got Bosco?
Seton Hall Prep.
Okay.
So maybe with everything Paramus Catholic was going through in regards to the investigation, hand in the cookie jar, already struggling during the season, everybody probably thought they was gonna fold 10. and maybe you started preparing for Bosco. But if you did, shame on you.
Yo, I saw a parent on on Facebook. It's like, why we got to play these guys anyway? It's going to mess up the seeding in the playoffs. That's why we play the game. Can't duck no smoke. Shout out to PC, Russo. Way to get it done.
Yeah, and I really would hate to hear that Seton Hall Prep overlooked them, because Seton Hall Prep, as I see it, and remember, this is Keep It a Buck, these are our opinions, and it's just our opinions, and you got the opportunity every week to prove us wrong.
Every week.
So then my opinion of Seton Hall Prep is a well-coached team. They're good at what they do. They run their stuff. They get the most out of their kids. But when you go talent for talent, Paramus Catholic has way more than them. Seton Hall Prep has really tough academic requirements that keep them from being able to get every kid. Gotcha. Like a Paramus Catholic, they was able to get kids that can't get in any other place. So for you to overlook a team that's more talented than you, let's just be honest. Paramus Catholic is talented than most of the league. I tell you that every week, which is why I say y'all have a puncher's chance, even in a bad season, because of your talent. When you have that type of talent and they wake up on the right side of the pillow, you can be in for a ball game. And Lord forbid they woke up on the right side and you didn't. And you're already at a deficit with talent. I know they have, the Jalen, the DB, I'm drawing the blank.
McLean?
They have the McLeans. They have.
He actually scored a touchdown. I think he had a rushing touchdown, believe it or not.
They got another one, Jordan.
McAllister.
Yeah. So they got some guys, but when we start talking about that war of attrition, Paramus Catholic has more.
Yeah.
So I'd hate to think that y'all took them lightly, or anybody's going to take Paramus Catholic
lightly. And the scary thing about Paramus Catholic is the younger group that they got coming up behind that group. So I think that this group is like to get them over the hump, and then they're going to come with that banger with that young boy group, that freshman group that's beating on everybody.
Not true. I can't let you do it.
All right, go ahead.
Sorry.
What?
DePaul.
Freshman team?
DePaul freshman.
Stop.
Let me finish.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
They tied Paramus Catholic.
They did?
And that's my point.
All
Stop
right.
it.
Okay.
So we talking about a young boy group that you just, with DePaul, stop it, right? So how special are they?
DePaul lost to someone else.
Yeah, DePaul lost to Bosco. DePaul lost to Bergen. They lost to Joe's. And I
know, but you got to look at it like this. PC have their freshman running back is on varsity, the Robo Twins.
Achilles.
Had he played in that game, it'd probably be a whole nother.
He did.
He played in that.
Yes,
You sure?
I'm sure.
I need to go back on that.
He's from where I'm from.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to that kid because he's balling on varsity right now and putting it down.
Achilles Dupont, I believe he had 7 carries that game for about 35 yards, which is 5 yards a carry as a freshman.
Gotcha.
But remember, DePaul had a good incoming class too. Larry Smith was running all around the internet, proud of. And remember, this quarterback is part of that class.
Okay.
Larry Smith's son, who's on varsity, is part of that class.
Like him.
So our young group in North Jersey is just studded out all across the board. Don't get into Bergen, bro. Bergen's freshman team looked different.
Gotcha.
Different. Like, we know Dante Kane. I seen another kid running the ball. This kid looked like DJ Samuels running the ball against Bosco. He looked different. Period. So I'm watching him, and I guess Bosco playing for Dante Kane, and they was on Dante. This kid comes out, and he's just up and down the field.
But like I was saying, at the end of the day is this. You cannot sleep on that PC young boy
Absolutely
group that's
not.
coming through. So they will be the future New Jersey soon.
Of New Jersey,
It's a dark horse. They just sunk the ship at Seton Hall.
Who's Seton Hall? I'm sorry. It's just my opinion, but
Seton Hall, the same group that knocked off the undefeated Red Bank Catholics. Well, you was
true. No.
This man was heavy on Red Bank Catholic.
I said I was almost starting to sip the tea.
And they were supposed to be the #1 team in the state.
According to Todrick and the guys at, Newark Star Legend.
Okay.
Not me, bro. Not me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm the same guy that told you that same Red Bank team struggled with Montclair.
Gotcha.
Did I not?
No, you said that.
Okay, so again, you know what I'm saying? It's context. Seton Hall Prep, hats off to them. They're going to get somebody every year.
Yeah.
But until you run through the gauntlet and get the majority of those, you still not here.
Gotcha. What we got next? What we got next, brother?
Oh, man. So We're gonna flip over the page. We're gonna go to this week. We're gonna have you do your predictions.
Okay.
Try to get you back on the ball. I think this is a little more in your range
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you familiar with these matchups.
Got you.
I'm gonna call them out, and you're gonna tell us who, what, where, and why. All right.
Let's get it.
So we're gonna start with Hudson Catholic versus Del Barton.
Shout out to my guys at Hudson. You know, Coach Z, Coach Chris Johnson. That's
Oh, he about to
family.
do you dirty.
No. I saw them at the game. They was watching Del Barton. They have the same respect that I got for Del Barton. I'm looking at Hudson to bounce back. I just think it's going to be a little tough game for Del Barton, but I got Del Barton winning that game.
Like I said, you about to do him dirty.
Yeah.
You build them up, you prep them, and then you kick them in the mouth.
I apologize, but this is what I'm seeing. So, you know.
All right, so we gonna move right up, right? So Pope John versus DePaul. This is for you. Well, you've been selling it. So where we at now?
All right.
You've been selling the Pope John thing.
The thing I love about Pope John, I just feel like right now against those caliber teams that they have a hard time finishing. And with looking at the sideline, playing in this Big North schedule, you see so many people sitting on the sideline in street clothes, not playing, and they still hanging in there. I just think that, I don't know, man. It's going to be a tough game right here. DePaul will not just walk all over them because they still got Talik Hill there, and that kid is special, right? He's killing the game. They got the good quarterback. You know, they being coached by Coach Dom and the staff.
I don't want to affect your pick because I know I've been doing that to you, but I just want to remind you of something. As we discussed, Pope John has always played DePaul tough.
They do.
All right, so go ahead. I just want to plant that seed.
I just feel like Coach Sheed and the guys is just going to be a little bit too much for Pope. It's going to be tight. And I hope that they take this and use this for motivation, like how the PC guys did it.
Or St. Peter's.
Or it's going to be an upset somewhere this week. And this the one could be the upset right here. This Pope John DePaul game. So I'm going to go with DePaul. But if I lose, remember I was saying I was unsure with it. I wanted to kind of stay away from it, like the Bergen Bosco type of thing. But I'm going to go with DePaul on this one.
Oh, so we saying that's close, though.
Real tight.
All right, what type of score game do you see that be? 2-score game, 1-score?
Show me that Pope will score. One thing about Pope will score. They got some receivers, they got a quarterback, and they putting it out there with the running back behind them. They line is a little bit down right now, but they moving that ball. They getting that ball out quick. I'm going to say they good for 3 touchdowns a game. They good. I said 14 last week. When I seen them score that 19 on and miss 2 field goals. So you got to look at it like that. I'm giving them 3 touchdowns, 28-21.
Okay, so next we got St. Peter's Prep versus Paramus Catholic. What you gonna do now? You gonna make right to the good folks at Paramus Catholic?
Hey, PC, shout out to my guy. Shout out to Rousseau.
Oh, he about to do it to
No. Because everybody, shout out to the people, the good people at Paramus Catholic, reaching out to me. Then I seen a video floating around what they was going to do to St. Peter's, and I'm like, hold on, they gotta pause that right now, right? Because you still ain't all the way out the water. You see what I'm saying? Like you just said, they knocked off a Seton Hall Prep, and they was down a couple dudes, right? You did what you was supposed to do, right? In that setting. St. Peter's Prep going to smoke your boots. And it's going to be a 50 ball. It's going to be dangerous. I'm telling you that. So now, because you got to remember, St. Peter's Prep has some kids that was at their school that's now at Paramus Catholic. Shout out to my man Catino. You know what I mean? Makai Catino. I know he got a lot on his chest. And I know he going to come try to bring it. And he
Tight end DN too. It was tight.
Yeah, the defensive end kid. You know, I just think that St. Peter's had a week off to regroup. They just lost to that Bosco at MetLife. That was a big game for them.
So,
you know.
They rusty musty? Or
No. They probably in the weight room getting right, hitting the film, watching PC for 2 weeks straight. You know what I mean? Because they got Zion Fowler. I said that right. Zion Fowler.
Zion?
No, it's Zion.
Okay.
Don't mess that name up again, okay?
Pardon.
All right. They got a team full of studs, you know, that's out here. And I'm just looking forward to this whole PC matchup with St. Peter's because last year they put 60 on you. So don't come back for the 50 piece with no fries and no sauce.
So they're gonna stay the hell out your inbox this week.
Yeah, they're gonna stay out my inbox this week, and then we'll start this over next week. But shout out to the whole PC movement. I support it. See, I'm wearing it. They living. I'm part of Living Ever. But I think St. Peter's gonna be too much for you.
Respect it. I respect you able to stand on that because I'm not. Like I love the way you just lay that down. You don't care what's going on, but let's move right along. So we got.
Vance Matthews, been with Test Sports Club for 6 years. One of the senior performance coaches, working with the combine staff, everything football related. A couple of our alumni, Joe Flacco, obviously one of the greats. So this is our all-time leaderboard for combine and pro day. So we've had a ton of success here in the past, and looking to keep knocking guys off the list as guys get faster and guys get better. So this is our field house. This is where all the training goes down for the most part. This turf in particular, we've had 200 plus guys sign NFL pro contracts in the game of football. A lot of facilities that just have turf strips. We have 60 yards by 25 yards of field space to be able to run more than just 40s, more than just 5-10 5s. We've held full positional sessions in here with throwing, catching, the ability to run full routes. DBs can get work in here. So we don't need a field particularly. We just make sure this field's open and we can get to work.
Speaking of Seton Hall Prep, they back at it, no layoff. They was looking ahead to Bosco. Now you got what you wanted.
Whoa.
Now you got what you wanted.
Whoa.
This bring the smoke. Because again, I love to say the two names.
Downhill Records, man.
Downhill
Records, right?
Big Chase Basantis and Chris Marino.
Yeah.
I'll tell you where they coming. Off tackle.
And number
Nolan
74.
Logan.
And number 74.
Is that
on the line at Bosco too, man. He moving
that
furniture. I guess that's his name. I'm not good with names.
Okay.
But tap in about that. Number 74, he a dog.
So what does Seton Hall Prep have to do to win this game? Well, you know what? Do your thing. Let's see where you're going with it. Give us the pick. Give us why.
All right, Seton Hall. I don't know, man. I'm gonna be 100 with you. I'm looking at it like this, and I don't want to.
Can I give you some insight before you get into it? Just what I think. I want to arm you so you can make an informed decision.
I think Fitzgerald, the coach, he gonna come back in the lab. This is what he do. I just feel like Bosco is on. They here. They like up here right now, sitting pretty. They knocked off all the big dogs who was the knockoff Joes, Bergen.
Let me plant some doubt in your head.
Go ahead.
Just a little.
Let me hear something.
So, this Seton Hall Prep team they've been consistently getting that one every year. They snuck up and stole on St. Peter's one day.
Nah, they got close to Prep. What I'm saying is, that's they one though. That's they one. That's the only one.
No. Remember the year Teray Powell and them was there, they snuck up and punched Joes in the mouth, right? Mm-hmm. They beat Bosco, I think, last year. You get what I'm saying? So all of the big boys have overlooked Seton Hall Prep at a time and got their mouth ran in, right? But hold on. So Fitz is pretty good at drawing it up for that one game. And I'm just going to tell you that Bosco...
I don't think it's going to come this year.
I'll let you do the prediction. Just let me give it to you. Bosco, which is, a team that I'm very high on, but we got to make this interesting, right? We got to make this interesting for the show. I got to give you something else to think about. Bosco is ideal for what Fitz can draw up. Why? Because they don't got the guys that's going to hit you upside the head for 80 yards. And so now it's kind of like you got the big boys up front, and then you got death by 1,000 cuts.
With the running back, my guy, number 20.
So you get death by 1,000 cuts. When you have Fitz, right, what you have now is a guy that can draw up trick plays. He don't got a lot of them, but he got big play kids. He do little quirky stuff. I'm gonna tell you, I think Bosco gets it. But I'm telling you,
he's gonna be
don't
trick
overlook
play
him.
after trick play after trick play after trick play to win this game. It's not gonna be line up, run my offense. They too much for them up front. That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking Bosco fresh. They probably getting some of their guys back that they had out. I'm thinking landslide.
So that's what I'm saying. I sense that from you. And I'm not thinking landslide because they still got to play defense. Right?
Yeah.
And I still ain't seen the athletes over there on the defensive side of the ball. That's going, I'm not acting like Seton Hall Prep is no world beat. I just don't think landslide.
Okay, all right. What did the running back from Paramus Catholic do? I don't know. 9 times out of 10, they probably ran down his throat too, right?
Paramus Catholic, the quarterback led them in rushing that game, and he had 16 carries for 92 yards.
Okay.
92 yards.
Well, they got Logan Bush and Nolan James. Mm-hmm. That's a hell of a dynamic duo. And then I don't even know if Ronnie Heath going to be back. So if Heath come back, then they move Nolan back to the slot. Then it's like, who do you prepare for?
Wasn't it you that told me about the kid you like that, the linebacker?
At
Seton Hall Prep?
Yeah, I like him.
Right? And then they got McLean.
Yeah.
They got the Jordan kid, right?
But then they got Jordan Thomas. Then you got the linebacker number 8 at Boston. He well respected by me, young fella.
Yeah, I need to see more. Because it's only been St. Peter's Prep. I need to see more.
You're gonna have
right?
him, you're gonna have him hurt somebody out there.
I want to see him play like a little Rashawn Gary. I need to see that game from him because there's too many games that his thumbprint hasn't been on it.
Jordan Thomas, I need you to prove to this man you're the best that's coming out of Jersey right now.
And if you prove it to me, you prove it to everybody because I sit there and I talk to Adam Friedman from Rivals regularly to update him on what I'm seeing in New Jersey. You get what I'm saying? And I need to see it. I need to be able to get on the phone with Adam and say, Adam, that kid is him. That kid is him. So I'm calling him out.
Jordan Thomas, come back to the party this week again, please. Because you was off last week at the beach. It was a bye week. Come back to the party. We inviting you.
There it is, man. There it is. Like I said, it's solely our opinion. The best thing about it is you got every week to tell Big Body Nas, keep it a buck, Lenny, shut the up. Every week y'all got an opportunity to do that. You know?
Give us the grand finale.
So, I mean, we're going to take it to you, man. We're going to take it to Rutgers. Some news broke today.
Don't forget about, we got one more. We got the Joes and
Oh!
Yes.
Moving back. So the final game in private school ball, we have St. Joe's Regional versus Bergen Catholic.
Boom, 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 boom.
Nas, take us home.
It's going to be a tough one, man. I love what Joe's got. I love the OC. I love how they're able to score. Do Bergen Catholic got the defensive backs to stop a Makai Rosenall and the receiver core that they have at
Talk
Joe's?
to me.
I'm asking you.
All right.
I know they got Kai Sanders over there.
So again, everybody likes to throw out Kaj, DJ Sader. I like Malachi Mercer. Mm-hmm. Malachi Mercer is my diamond in the rough in that team. Because everybody, the other guys got they're 4-star decorated and different things like that. This kid's just a blue-collar, hard-work, lunch pail kid. And his impact is felt every time. Him, Elijah Kinsler, like those guys, right? So for me, in regards to St. Joe's, St. Joe's does not play 4 quarters worth of football. Bergen Catholic plays 4 quarters worth of football.
Where's this game being played at?
I believe St. Joe's. I believe it's being played at St. Joe's.
I
need to look that up.
That's a difference too. I need to know where they playing at before I make my prediction.
Why would you say that?
It's tough playing at Joe's, man. Just like it's tough playing at Bergen. And playing in the Big North, you really need that home field advantage. So if you're able to get the home field advantage, that's on your side, man. The Joe's crazies, the BC crazies.
Yeah, BC crazies travel, boy.
Yes.
I like those kids. But let's figure out where this game is at, because that may make a difference. Okay, so you have St. Joe's schedule. They play Bergen Catholic preview. St. Joe's Regional home game. It's at St. Joe's.
Okay. I like the kid John Foster. Saw him at Rutgers the other night with his family. Everybody talked well about him. His speed, when he gets to the outside, he's gone.
Yo, speaking of speed, right? So I was talking to a coach, a college coach, in regards to John Foster. So he's breaking down the film. And they're like, yo, you know, he dies off after 40, 50 yards. So I'm talking to his running back coach. And I'm saying, like, because in track, there's a term called a strong runner, right? That's a kid that can maintain the same speed from start to finish. What you see sometimes is kids that shoot out the gate, first 20 yards, and then they die off. So they got a quick first 20. I thought John Foster was one of those kids. The guy is playing on a high ankle sprain. He's not even 75% good. They like John Foster hasn't ran full speed all year.
Wow.
And look like that.
Wow. Shout out to Uncle John Foster. You know they got the daddy with Yasin Willis.
And with a week to heal. Because he's been nicked up. He's had
Going both ways.
bye
And the
week.
guy told me, a college coach said to me, he said, this kid, we already know what he could do as a running back, but as a linebacker, he's the best linebacker too.
I love Train, man. Train's physical. So, you know, I'm going to add my input to this, man. Like I said,
I want to know who you going with this time.
I'm Bergen Catholic. I could do that fast. And I feel like you would pull. Prove me wrong. You got the opportunity to prove me wrong, but I'm going to tell you why I'm going with Bergen Catholic. Joe's has not played 4 quarters worth of football. They bring out a great deal of sophomores in their mix that I don't know if they've grown up yet. DJ, Sadir, Malachi Mercer, Kaj, Chris Memo. These are grown men, right? These are grown men. I also feel that St. Joe's coaching staff has to help their young kids get over the hump. And what I mean by that is when you know you have youth and they're going to make youthful mistakes, coaching, you can't make coaching mistakes. You have to be prepared in all facets of the game. Special teams, you have to have plays drawn up. You have to make sure your kids are ready to tackle. Because Saeed is a handful, but you will see some Mr. DJ Samuels.
Now,
and I think that's too much for them. If they can tackle...
I can't let you go off without talking about the 2 young stars. Well, Joey Gastons versus the Campanelli young boy.
Okay, I didn't because he switches off and on with a junior, so I wanted to pay the proper respect to the other kid because he has just as much as an impact on games as young Campanelli. But yeah, that's a matchup because here we go. Campanelli and Joey Gaston are both Bergen Star kids that have always met up. So Joey Gaston played in Spring Valley a year. And he played there because Campanelli was the quarterback on his level. He never really got that opportunity to really beat him out for that position.
So Lil Campanelli played at Spring Valley?
No, Joey Gaston. He had to leave Bergen Stars.
Oh.
Yeah, see, that's what them little back pay.
Ooh,
So
this is
a competition within a competition.
this
because
is personal right here.
yeah, I think he's gonna want to prove something. We're gonna see if DJ and Sadir and Malachi is gonna give him the opportunity to do so. But what I also know, man, last year Bergen Catholic held all rushers below 100 yards, including Yasin Night Train Willis. I sit here all the time and say you a grown man. You a grown man amongst boys. I don't know how you feeling right now. I don't know how your ankle is. I hope you're healed up. And if you're healed up, like I called Jordan Thomas out, I need to see your fingerprint on this game. I need to see it. This is where the big time players make their names. I'll go back, whether it was Ryan Butler, when Ryan Butler had his staple games against St. Peter's in the championship game, against Joe's last year, whether it was Ordrick when he had his coming out party where Augie gave him the ball 17 straight times against Bergen, same play. Train had his last year against St. Peter's Prep, but you got to do that to DJ and them. You need to send DJ and them out. Once you put that name on your wall, you here.
But you talking about the Train, man. It ain't nobody that's going to, he don't fear no man.
I know that. Give me 100 yards. Give me 100 yards or better because Bergen hasn't allowed that. And that's why I choose Bergen.
I'm going with Bergen also. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bergen. Shout out to Joe's. I think it's going to be a tight game. I just feel like you said, Joe's got to finish. I don't know, man. Being that you going with Bergen, I'm going to go with Joe's.
Yo, but this is what I will tell Bergen. Javon Williams, account for him. Makai Rosignol, account for him. because those dudes are on the tear and they want to prove something.
I got you, man. That was it with the private schools?
That's it with the private schools. We on the Rutgers, letting go Coach Gleason. You know, they took him out back and they whacked him, man.
Chopped his head right off. They always say, keep chopping, huh?
Yeah, come on now.
No, I'm being serious because, shout out to Rutgers, man. The defense.
14-13 was that game.
Balling. Turnovers. We couldn't move the ball. Couldn't move the ball.
Does that have anything to do with the OC, though? Or is he just the guy, the streets need a body? They calling for Greg, so Greg got to give him a body.
You can't call for Greg. You can't call for Greg.
But they was, though.
I mean,
were they?
You can't call for Greg.
Were they?
I mean, the people that was little fans out here in the world, but you can't call for Greg head.
So why would we get rid of Gleason?
Can't move the ball. He's the OC. Let's go with Nuns now. See what Nuns gonna do.
Oh,
you get what I'm
saying? So we usher in.
I mean, come on. They was playing with 3 quarterbacks. I'm talking about in the same game. Mm-hmm. We brought this kid in from Houston that's supposed to be a guy, 5-star kid. Can't see one sack, do nothing. But I was talking with the guy that was from E-Hall, man, and he was, everybody, we just got to get on the page of fence the garden. Like, our quarterback should be in place. It should be a big-time kid from New Jersey there that's from us there. You know what I mean? Our guy should be there on that field, helping bringing that championship back. Like, the atmosphere at Rutgers was crazy.
Mm-hmm. They called and said it was electric.
They switched it up. I'm talking about, like, again, I felt like I was out of town. I felt like I was somewhere else. They had the lighting system going, fans going crazy, screaming, loud. I just felt like had they had some kind of offense, just getting first downs, they would have won that game against Nebraska. They was up 13-0 in the first half, and to turn around and lose 14-13, somebody had to get their head chopped off.
Okay, so what does Rutgers need to do to fence the garden?
I mean, we talk about this all the time. I mean, I feel like they need to be more in tune with what's going on as far as the kids here. Get up with this NIL business they got going on here. Able to take care of some of these families or these kids that need, that they want to actually be at Rutgers, so we could continue, like, get this legacy going here. Like, I mean, if you look at SEC schools, like you said, they drop in the bags and it's legal
even
now.
ACC. I mean, I'm gonna leave the schools nameless, but I got a call from a coach that basically told me about 225 kids and say, like, it's already being discussed, the NIL package for them right here, and they're not Rutgers. You get what I'm saying?
But if our 24 and 25 kids stay home, nobody beat us. We have the best 24 and 25 in the country, I believe. That's me.
Yeah, I mean, some good ones. The 24, the 25. I think our 24 class is weak.
No, our 24 class is good.
We're not
too.
deep. If you look at, like, as far as the rankings go. I'm not, I know we have an intimate boots on the ground knowledge, but I'm talking as far as recruiting services.
I'm talking about home.
Yeah, we don't have a lot up in the top 100. That's how they gauge that. Top 200, top 100.
I can't go along with all the ranking things, like, you know what I mean? Because you're looking at this little guy with glasses on behind the computer ranking kids, and he ain't never been there and met them. So I can't go off that. I go off of what I see and what I know. So
I'll get with that, because I'm still questioning some things from last year and the year before his ranking with 24/7, but I'm gonna leave that alone. That's for another day.
I got to shout out one kid, man, that's over here doing his thing in California, man. My guy, Safi Span, he's at Warren playing with the quarterback, Nico, $1 Million Man, that's committed to Tennessee.
Got an NIL deal already?
Yeah, he got...
Oh, while we're talking about NIL deals, Nico, right? So that's why they call him $1 Million Man. I watched Mater Day versus St. John Bosco Friday night. Mm-hmm. Sold out College Arena. The resale of the tickets, a high school game, $200 per ticket.
Wow.
And it was sold out. The game was sold out. But both teams are fully funded with NIL. Both teams, all of the kids on the team got NIL deals.
Every major college coach in the country was at that game.
That's where high school football seems to be headed.
And last but least, shout out to my guy Jaden Hollywood Bell at Grayson.
What's their record?
I don't know what their record is, but I know he holding it down for the state of New Jersey, being out of state.
Yeah, man. I don't know how them Georgia people feel like he theirs, man.
He's not. He's
Who
ours.
is he?
He's a Brick City Lion.
Yeah.
He's home. He's Jersey.
Tell him.
Salute to you, Hollywood. Keep it a buck. I ain't.
That's another episode of Keep It a Buck. Thanks for tuning in.
Outside, he's gone.
Yo, speaking of speed, right? So I was talking to a coach, a college coach, in regards to John Foster. So he's breaking down the film. And they're like, yo, you know, he dies off after 40, 50 yards. So I'm talking to his running back coach. And I'm saying, like, because in track, there's a term called a strong runner, right? That's a kid that can maintain the same speed from start to finish. What you see sometimes is kids that shoot out the gate, first 20 yards, and then they die off. So they got a quick first 20. I thought John Foster was one of those kids. The guy is playing on a high ankle sprain. He's not even 75% good. They like John Foster hasn't ran full speed all year.